That down? Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, everybody's always wondering in the MCU, because it is a shared cinematic universe. This has always been my fear of shared cinematic universes. Why doesn't this hero show up in that? Well, if they're in New York, why didn't that hero show up in this? Like, always because it's a shared cinematic universe. And a lot of people have been asking for, like, hey, why doesn't Spider-Man show up in the Daredevil series? A lot of people think Spider-Man will show up in the Daredevil series. Well, we've said for a long time that they probably won't be able to because of the contracts and stuff like that, but now it's official. The head of Marvel Television, I believe Winterbaum is his name, said Marvel Studios confirms that Tom Holland's Spider-Man cannot appear in live-action Disney series. This comes to us from Yahoo Entertainment, who wrote the following. Marvel Studios has officially confirmed that Tom Holland's Spider-Man will not appear in any live-action Disney Plus series due to existing rights agreements with Sony Pictures. Brad Winderbaum, Marvel Studios head of streaming, television, and animation, clarified the situation, stating, Sony has the long-form television rights. We can do 30-minute animation. This statement sheds lights on the complex web, see what they did there? On the complex web of rights surrounding one of Marvel's most iconic characters and what it means for the future of Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, so for a long time, like, people have said, you know, well, why doesn't Sony just do a Spider-Man movie? And we try to explain, because that breaks the terms of their deal. Marvel gets to do live-action Spider-Man. Sony can do long-form animated Spider-Man. Well, they're doing Peter Parker cartoons. Well, that's because it's short animation. And I kind of like that finally somebody from Marvel has just come out to give some strict clarity to it. And just in that one line, Sony has the long-form rights. We can do 30-minute animation. And that's that. So if you are somebody who was wondering, because I remember in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when they got down to the last couple of episodes and the big thing was happening in New York, a lot of people were, I bet you Spider-Man's going to show up. They're in New York. And a lot of people have been wondering, with Daredevil coming out in Hell's Kitchen, bet you Spider-Man's going to show up. They're in New York. Don't hold your breath. There is a higher chance that Jennifer Walters, that She-Hulk is going to show up than Spider-Man is. So you can take that one off your bingo card. And it makes sense. Like, look, under the deal, both Sony and Marvel want to make sure they're both getting best bang for their buck with the character, right? Marvel doesn't want to have a live-action Spider-Man if Sony's going to dilute it by having their own live-action Spider-Man going on. Sony making their full-length feature animations don't want Marvel doing full-feature animations either. Sony has no plans to do half-hour, 30-minute TV stuff. That's fine. So it's a very complex, but the lines are pretty clearly drawn here. Rob, I mean, we've always kind of suspected this is the way and they're going to do it. Do you think it's going to feel jarring at all, having Spider-Man not show up in certain situations? I think it's perfectly fine, but what's your takeaway from this?
Okay, we live in Los Angeles.
Yes, we do.
How many times did you go somewhere, do something, and your best friend didn't show up at that place? Like, every single time. We live in a giant city. Like just because something's happening doesn't mean that a superhero is going to show up at every event. It's a big city. Nobody knows what's happening. He doesn't have a superhero radio. Hey, we got ninjas over here on the corner of 48th and 7th. Can we get your help? We could use a few web shooters. I mean, the world isn't like that, you know. And I understand what people are saying. I get that kind of thinking, but it's like, think about everything that happens in a city in a day. Think about how many police calls or how many emergency calls happen in a day. I mean, it would be, I know that we are thinking that way, but if you really start thinking about how it's never I guess I'm saying it's never bothered me. It would bother me if there's an alien invasion.
Right.
And the X-Men don't show up from Grey Malkin Lane or whatever.
Yeah.
That would bug me. If the entire city, if there's giant alien dragon craft coming out of a huge portal in the sky.
They should make a movie like that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, then I'd be like, where is everybody? Why aren't all hands on deck? There's only 5 of us. That would bother me, especially now after 35 movies. But before then, you know, not so much.
I mean, nobody ever says this in the comics. When I'm reading the comics, I'm not like, but where's Iron Man?
Right. But to your point too about living in LA, as somebody who lives in the LA area, like, one of the most common questions I get from my friends back home or for people writing into me saying coming to visit LA is, oh, when you go to the grocery store, do you always run into celebrities? No, probably about 9 times out of 10, I mean, granted, in LA, maybe 1 time out of 10,
I
you'll
run
see
into
somebody famous, but
Jay
it's like,
Leno a lot.
and there's a lot of celebrities here.
Yeah.
Well,
A lot of celebrities, and you don't just bump into them all the
No.
time.
there is three. There is three. There's the Trader Joe's in Silver Lake. There's Rock and Roll Ralph's late night, and then there's the one grocery store that's on Franklin. That's
You know what
right
else?
by La Poubelle.
In Beverly Hills there, is it the Grove?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
farmer's market in the Grove?
yeah.
I have run into Hugh Jackman there. I've run into Chris Pratt there. I've run into Denzel Washington there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's a big
That's
one
one.
too.
And
Studio
also
City Farmers Market. That's
What's
the
that?
one. Studio City Farmers
The
Market.
Studio City one
yeah.
too?
And West LA. The what is
That
it?
one's
So
obnoxious
Spider-Man was
because
always there at
paparazzi
those
show up at that
spots.
one.
Yes,
It's just people
Spider-Man
trying
was
to
there.
shop.
You know what was another good one? Was being the operative word. Arclight.
Arclight was great.
I
yeah.
always-
Arclight was great. Ran into Quentin
Always
Tarantino
had
there.
celebrities
And in
there.
Calabasas, that upscale
Yep.
shopping complex.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're more than likely to run into a Kardashian there.
We've
but-
just done a great disservice to the world.
We
Now
really
they don't know where
They're
they're
all like,
at.
where should
Where
we
are
go?
we gonna go?
People are like, damn it, you guys.
Anyway, Chris, I mean, it's not surprising to hear that we're not going to see Spider-Man pop up in Disney Plus shows, but
No.
this kind of puts an explanation point. Is this a unfortunate thing? Does it kind of make sense? How do you see it?
I suppose it's unfortunate in that Spider-Man's one of my favorites and I'd like him to be in all the things, but did anyone seriously think that we would have him regularly in TV shows? We barely are able to have him because of all the Sony deal stuff. This was one of those stories that I went, yeah, do we have to publish that? Oh gosh, okay. I'm glad someone came out and explained it for everyone because people apparently are very confused about this. But yeah, it makes sense that he's not going to show up in every single thing.
Plus, he
wait.
also has a life. Like he was going to school.
Right.
It's just-
By the way, I also saw somebody, this is another big thing that I always see, because all the fans always think there's these big loopholes that the contract writers never thought of. So like I just saw one of our viewers write in there, okay, so they can't have a live action Peter Parker, but can another Spider, like can a Ben Reilly show up? Guys, no. They have very definitive lines. There's no little loopholes they can get through. It's
Not everything is the contract for the Michael Jackson biopic, you know? Disney's got some good lawyers.
You had one job. You had one job. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. Man, time flies, doesn't it? 1 minute, you're reminiscing about your last vacation, and the next, you're thinking about major life goals, like buying a car, getting that dream home. But if your credit isn't where it needs to be, those goals can feel out of reach. And that's where Kikoff comes in, the #1 credit building app in the App Store that makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free to build credit fast. And that's exactly why I love Kikoff. They give you a credit line for just building credit, not for spending. Your on-time payments get reported to the 3 major credit bureaus, helping you improve your credit mix and payment history, 2 of the biggest factors in credit growth. If your credit is under 600, you could see a jump of about 28 points in your first month. No credit check, no hidden fees, no interest, just smart credit building. Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kikoff. Don't wait. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea. That's kickoff without the C. Get 80% off at getkikoff.com/Campea. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only, subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January of 2021 and March of 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think? Does this surprise you? Or are you like, no, this makes total sense? Or it's like, no, man, I really thought we were going to see Spider-Man show up in Daredevil or something else down the road. However you guys feel about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.